Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Means we're brought to you by Mints Networks Cloud IT Management. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Jordan Kitchens, Gassy Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, and we are fired up. You are here. Look, this is the last day without LSU on the practice field. Saints have been at it for just over a week. LSU's at it tomorrow, and our long summer is just about over. Sharif Ishak going to be here talking Saints at 1:15. Black and Gold put the pads on yesterday, and by all accounts, the offense really showed up. We'll talk to Sharif about that coming up. Glenn West is here at 1:30. He's with the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 team. We'll talk LSU with him. Is private equity coming to LSU? Some people seem to think so. Matt Moscona working on some things as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up at 1:45. Got some sound from Saints camp as well, so we'll get to some of that. I wrote 3 freshmen to watch for LSU in fall camp, and The Athletic put together a really extensive look at the quarterbacks in the NFL and put them into tiers. Where does Tyler Shuck rank, and where does he need to rank for the Saints to achieve the things that they want to achieve this fall? We'll talk about all of that over the course of the next 2 hours. Let's start the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
The coaches poll is out. Does that get you fired up? I don't know. We don't know what we're talking about in August, but they ranked the teams, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. LSU ranks 13th in the initial coaches poll. Of course, it's a 12-team playoff, so that puts you very squarely on the bubble, and I honestly don't have a huge problem with that. Look, LSU was a trendy pick last year, a preseason top 10 pick last year, a preseason top 5 team after a week after you go on the road and beat what we thought was a top 10 Clemson team, and it turned out neither one of those teams was worth a hill of beans. So it's just, we don't know. I'm not here to tell you that we know, but it is a discussion point, and I think more so than what do coaches and whoever's filling out these ballots think about LSU, which 13th is certainly not a terrible spot to begin. I was curious where LSU's schedule would rank in the coaches poll. At the top of the coaches poll with the most first-place votes by a long shot is Ohio State. They're number 1 in this poll, 38 first-place votes. Second to 38 first-place votes is Indiana, who got 14, but they're actually down at 6 in this poll. The top 5 in order: Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, who got 7 first-place votes, Texas, and Notre Dame, all right there in front of defending national champion Indiana. Rounding out the top 10, Miami at 7, A&M at 8, Oklahoma at 9, and the Ole Miss Rebels at 10. So what about LSU's schedule? What does it look like? Well, if you're a season ticket holder, according to the coaches poll, you're getting your money's worth. It's a loaded home docket for LSU. Visiting Tiger Stadium this fall, number 4, Texas, who received 2 first-place votes. Number 8, Texas A&M. Number 11, Alabama, and number 23, Clemson. This is the first poll I can recall seeing Clemson included in. ESPN and a lot of the national publications have not been super high on Clemson, but the coaches ranked them at number 23. So 4 top 25 teams, including 3 teams in the top 11 in the country, will visit Tiger Stadium this year. That's going to be a big deal. Now you look at what LSU's got to do on the road, and it's the 2 Kiffin trips. It's number 10 Ole Miss, who you will visit in week 3, and it's number 18 Tennessee, who you will visit at the end of November. Those are your only 2 ranked road games, number 10 Ole Miss and number 18 Tennessee. And so to round out LSU's schedule, you've got the unranked teams, which is Louisiana Tech and McNeese, your 2 non-conference games that are not Clemson. Obviously, McNeese is an FCS team. Louisiana Tech, not ranked in the top 25. Then you got your other 4 SEC games. Mississippi State, who comes to Tiger Stadium, not ranked, as you'd expect. And then 3 road games, at Kentucky, at Auburn, and at Arkansas. None of those three teams ranked. All three of those teams breaking in a new coach. So this stands to reason what we've been going back to since this schedule was released and something that I was talking about in Tampa a couple of weeks ago. There are a number of different ways to slice this schedule up. The way I choose to do it is to look at the road games first. And you got two top 20 teams you got to play on the road, and LSU has got to get one of those games. You have to win one of those games, right? And then you have to take care of your unranked teams. I don't care about Tech. I don't care about McNeese, but you have to win a home game against Mississippi State and 3 road games, Kentucky, Auburn, and Arkansas. You have to win all those games. If you do those two things, you have 4 games left at home where you need to go 3-1. That's Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Clemson. And it's going to be difficult. But this just in. The Southeastern Conference is pretty difficult. And while it is reasonable to suggest this coach's poll is going to be significantly flawed and that what we get spit out to us after Thanksgiving looks nothing like what we get the first week of August, it stands to reason Texas is going to be pretty good. It stands to reason Texas A&M is going to be pretty good. It stands to reason Bama is going to be pretty good. I won't go as far with Clemson, only to just say it's possible Clemson is pretty good. But those first 3, if Texas goes sideways and loses 4 games this year, that's going to be pretty stunning. A&M could, but you've got that Elko defense, a veteran quarterback, and some real playmakers at running back and wide receiver. But it's in Tiger Stadium. And I think when I look at the schedule, I don't think LSU can go 4-0 in Tiger Stadium against Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Clemson. I do think 3-1 is reasonable. That means you split those road games at Tennessee and Ole Miss, and you take care of the teams that you will be favored against even on the road. That is the roadmap for this LSU team. It's a challenging one, but if you look at any team in the Southeastern Conference, it's challenging. LSU plays 6 teams ranked in the top 25 by the coaches. They play 3 teams ranked in the top 10 by the coaches. Those 3, Texas at home, A&M at home, and at Ole Miss. It's a gauntlet, and it's the second half of analyzing a team preseason. I got a question in our mailbag today on LouisianaSports.net. Said, hey, why did you miss so bad with the rest of the media on LSU's football team last year? And I didn't take any offense to that. I said, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of stuff wrong. I talk for 20 hours a week, and then I write 20 stories a week. You're going to get plenty of stuff wrong on predictions. You can't get stuff wrong on news. You can get stuff wrong on predictions. And I was wrong on last year's team. I had them 10-2. They were not close to that. Why? Well, part of it was the injury to your quarterback. And part of it was anything that could go wrong did. Up front, you had injuries and poor play. Defensively, you buckled against running quarterbacks. You couldn't run the ball. It was just bad. But this time of year, you're analyzing a team, and I got it wrong last year, I think more so based on the way the team performed. You take that part of this, how good you think the team is, based on what you see and what you know, and then you have to match it up with the schedule. And when I look at LSU's schedule and I look at their team, I think I am being a little bit more guarded this year than I was last year. And I don't know if that's scar tissue from last year or just how I feel analyzing the team and, more importantly, this schedule. Because I think these teams coming into Tiger Stadium are really good, and I think road games in the SEC are tricky. And you do have 5 road games in the SEC that I'm asking you to go 4-1 in, and you've got 4 brutal home games that I'm asking you to go 3-1 in. It's a tall ask. But the coaches seem to think LSU's got a chance to do it because they've got them ranked 13th. And I think that's a fair place to put LSU. It's right on the bubble for for the playoff. And I think LSU is probably right on the bubble for a college football playoff. I'm not here to tell you that I think that LSU is significantly better than Miami, who's ranked 7th and brings in Darian Mensah and still has Mark Fletcher and Malachi Toney. I'm not here to tell you that LSU's proven more than Texas A&M over the last 2 years. You can argue with A&M's schedule, which has been manageable the last 2 years, but they've whitewashed LSU in back-to-back second halves. Bama's handled LSU. And you got Texas Tech right there in front of LSU. We'll see what their quarterback situation is. And right behind LSU, you got USC, BYU, Michigan, Penn State, Tennessee. I think that's a class that it's reasonable to put LSU in. If you want to put them at the front of that class, fine. But the schedule is tough. And that's what's laid out here when you take a look at that first coaches poll. Lane Kiffin's team reports today. They'll get everybody checked in. They'll get everybody fitted for some pads, and they'll get out there and work tomorrow at 10:05, and the media will be admitted in. We'll have a full practice report up at louisianasports.net, and we'll certainly talk about it right here on the Hunt Palmer Show. They'll practice on Wednesday morning at 10:05. They'll practice Thursday evening, I believe 6:25, maybe 6:35. And then they'll practice Friday morning, and I don't think we're permitted access to that, and we are not on Saturday either. I know we are on Saturday. So it's a different schedule with Lane Kiffin. I know people were asking me what kind of access we're going to get with Lane Kiffin. We don't have times yet on the email. We only have periods. We're going to get to watch 3 periods tomorrow. They could be 10-minute periods. They could be 5-minute periods. You never really know. Sometimes those individual periods go like 4 minutes. Sometimes they run a team period that's 15 minutes. You just never know, and we only got periods. So I don't know how long we'll be permitted to watch, but we will be out there tomorrow at 10:35. So we'll have full practice reports up again at the website, louisianasports.net, and I'll be talking about it in the first segment of my show tomorrow on Wednesday. Our Tuesday shows are brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Saints have been at it for a week. Offense got cooking yesterday. Sharif Ishak was there. We'll talk to him about it when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. Look, looking for financing options for a new roof? You got it with Lifetime Roofing. 0% for 18 months. If you're looking to finance a deductible, you've got a sizable deductible and you want to make a claim and get that new roof, they can finance deductibles at Lifetime Roofing. If you want a lifetime workmanship warranty, you're going to have to look pretty hard to find that outside of Lifetime Roofing. They're so proud to have been able to offer that as of January 1st of this year, and it's backed by Certainty, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. The craftsmanship is backed as well. And if you're looking for more than just a roof, you want professional installation of gutters, siding, windows, all of that is available through my friends at Lifetime Roofing, a Baton Rouge-based roofing company that has core values, customer service, quality, and integrity. They can take care of your roofing needs, your siding need, your gutter needs, your window needs. It's all there at Lifetime Roofing. Find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is always brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. On Tuesdays, we talk to Sharif Ishak. Sometimes that's in the second hour. Sometimes it's in the first hour. You never know when it's going to happen. But today, it's in the first hour. Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans, joins us on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Sharif, how are we feeling?
I feel like every Tuesday morning, I constantly text you, hey, can I talk earlier because I got something to do? Even when the Saints are off. I seem to always do this to you, so I don't apologize, but I apologize.
I appreciate the insincere apology there that I kind of halfway got. That's great. Wonderful stuff there. It sounds like yesterday when the pads went on, the Saints offense kind of took off a little bit for the first time in camp. Is that how you've seen it? The defense has kind of controlled things, but the offense threw a punch back yesterday?
You know, Hunt, it always seems to be a tradition unlike any other. The first few practices are ruled by the defense, and when the pads come on for the first time, it flips, and it's the offense. By a little bit. Not much. By a little bit, I thought the offense controlled the entire practice, and I think Shuck looked his best during that practice yesterday. But, yeah, you know, I found some players continuing to make plays. Jordan Tyson, you know, imagine that. Ramping him up actually worked, and getting him into practice during training camp to get him still acclimated to the team and everything. That's working. And look, your former LSU Tiger, Barryon Brown, was making some very good plays yesterday down the field. Did drop one of the team drills, but then came back at the end of practice and made an awesome catch down the sideline. But you're starting to see some of those young faces make some splash plays in practices as this training camp continues to move along.
Can you describe kind of how they're using Jordan Tyson a lot around the line of scrimmage? Is it down the field, intermediate passing game? Like, what are you seeing from him in terms of their usage? It's a week, but in terms of what they're using him to do?
Yeah, they've lined him a lot. They've been lining him up a lot, around the slot. They've been lining him on the outside. You know, that's the one thing he did when he talked to us the other day. I think it was on Friday when Olave talked, that the one thing he's working on is just cleaning up some of his routes and, you know, moving around the line. But yeah, they've used him a lot, especially like in possession situations, getting him to work the middle of the field, running these short dig routes, comeback routes, running down the seam. He's been doing a lot of work out of the spot, and looks pretty good so far. I know it's 5 practices, but he's looked pretty clean and looked pretty good making plays whenever they get into team drills.
I'm definitely going to ask about the defense here, but I want to stick on the offense, and then we'll just transition to the other side of the football. But offensively, running back rotation, kind of what does that look like early on?
It's been HN and then Alvin Kamara. That's just, you know, what we said it was going to happen was exactly that the path that Kellen Moore and his coaches have taken. Number 3, then number 41. That's how they've been getting it. But, you know, there have been times where Alvin has been running there and team drills with the number 1s, but it's been mostly HN. I mean, and that's how it's probably going to be. And there have been times, Hunt, that both guys have been lining up in formation together. and giving the defense a little bit of a fit. You split them in the backfield, or you line up Alvin in the slot. And they've been doing that a few times during this training camp.
Has the offensive line kept Tyler Shuck upright?
There have been a couple times where where I've seen Chase Young get back there and knock him down, and I saw Jordan do it yesterday, and he kind of you could just kind of see they were laughing it off. But there have been times where Cam and Chase have blown through that line and gotten back there and put him on his butt. So yeah, there's been times that the offensive line has struggled, but I mean, I look at it this way, Hunt. Every training camp, we see the same thing. The defense seems to always be ahead of the offense, and we get about 6 or 7 practices in, and then it flips. It completely flips.
We'll see. I'm curious now to flip over to the defensive side of the ball. We know that Brian Brzee is not going to be in the middle of that defensive front. What are they doing without him there?
Seeing a lot of Nathan Shepard. You're getting a lot of Christian Miller, Vernon Broughton. 2 guys they drafted in back-to-back years. Remember, Broughton didn't even play last year. He hurt his hip in training camp and never saw the field. So they're going to rely heavily on those guys. They're going to rely on Gottschall a lot. I mean, guys who can plug the middle. I mean, and that's been the rotation. Those 4 guys have been seeing a lot of time up the middle in order to, replace Brian Brzee. Brian Brzee played almost every snap last year. I could be wrong. He might have played every snap last year for the most part. So that's a tough replacement. But they're going to have to rely heavily on those 4 guys, and they've seen, if not equal, playing time all training camp so far.
Quincy Riley on the outside, Kool-Aid McKinstry on the outside. Those guys are going against a brand new group of receivers. What have you seen from the Saints corners?
Got a chance. I know, man, it's so tough to see one-on-ones, but I just watched Olave versus McKinstry yesterday, and Olave got him 2 out of 3 times. I saw Quincy run up against a few different receivers, and he did well. And you know what Quincy really does well is during team drills. I mean, he hangs with Chris Olave down the field. He's got the speed and the ability to have tight coverage on Olave. If you can do that, that's good. I've seen him go one-on-one with Jordan Tyson. Tyson got him a few times, but he's gotten a few PBUs on Tyson. So they're growing. They're getting better. I can't wait to see what they're like together in this season. They're young. They have that ability to continue, working that outside really well and slowing down those top receivers. Interested to see how even Martin Emerson Jr. fits in with them. So those 2 guys are the top 2 cornerbacks have been fine. I mean, Kool-Aid rolled his ankle last week, but he came back to practice the next day. So you got to keep them healthy. We keep saying you got to keep those 2 guys healthy.
Anything of note at the safety position? I know Jonas Sanker coming down and playing that star role as well from that spot. What have you seen from the back end of the defense?
I've liked what Jonas Sanker has done in the practices I've watched. The one thing he says he's learning is being close to the line of scrimmage because he hasn't played this role since he was at Virginia. He said his sophomore year was the last time he played, but he's still getting adapted and adjusted to playing closer to the line of scrimmage. That's the one thing that he's got to work on as they get throughout camp and the preseason games. But he made a really good play in the indoor facility on Sunday at the goal line, knocking the ball away from Jordan Tyson. It would have been a touchdown. But man, he shows speed and he's very smart. He's in the right spots a lot. I want to flip over to Julian Blackman. Him coming off that shoulder injury that ended his season in the opener against
had a great camp.
Yeah, great camp. And he's motivated because he's motivated because he's dealt with injuries throughout his career. I mean, back-to-back season openers. He's hurt his shoulder, Achilles injury, ankle injury, all since 2021. This guy has the talent, and his talent is going to be able to help Jonas Sanker because he played in that nickel role in his career, so he knows what to do. He was going to play it last year until he was playing it last year, and then he got hurt. So he had a nice interception Sunday at the goal line. He's made a few plays, but I take it with a grain of salt, man. 5 practices it in, good or bad. I mean, let's see what it's like at the end of training camp. I want to see what it's like the first 2 games of the preseason, then 3 or 4 games into the regular season. That's when I really start judging this team.
Sharif Ishak, WSU is our guest covering the New Orleans Saints down there. In Metairie Saints off today, but back at it tomorrow. Just big overview here on Tyler Shuck. We've talked about every kind of position individually, but Shuck's the guy that's got to make this thing go. What have you seen from him?
I thought it was a slow start to camp, but he he's gotten better. Like, he did throw one interception to Quincy Riley the first day of camp that was open to fans, but it was Jordan Tyson's fault. Jordan said he broke the wrong direction. He tried to recorrect, and it was the wrong move by him. For the most part, I think he's been solid. I mean, he's been solid. I think it's gotten better, especially the last two practices, mainly the last practice yesterday where I told you the offense just kind of flipped the switch a little bit. But his reads are good. Making good reads. He's making good throws. I'm waiting on the deep ball to hit a little bit better. It feels like he hits the deep ball better in the games than he does in practice. It's almost like a reporter being better at live shots than as lives. Some people are just better. Some people are just better at live reps than they are at like practice. There's a lot of people call them practice players, and there's people who call them live players. Live players sometimes, like Tyler Shuck, just can't wait to get out there and throw the ball deep during a game, and it connects. So I'm waiting to see if he can get in rhythm with his receivers down the field a little bit more. He's been good intermediate routes. He's been good flushing the pocket and making those unique throws. I saw one the other day yesterday to Travis Etienne. He broke the pocket, rolled left, and made a great 3/4 angle throw to Etienne on the sideline. So he's great at like creating plays outside of a pocket, and when the pocket breaks down, he knows what he's doing. He can run, or he can flip the wrist 3/4 and make something happen. So I'm interested to see how that deep game develops throughout the rest of this camp. Get the whole camp as a one last year, not much with one really with all the ones. So this is his team now. So that's one of the areas I'd like to see him develop a little bit more, and that's going to come with time. It will come with time.
Who do you think emerges as that deep threat? Is that a spot Barryon Brown might be able to grab now that Jalen Polk's out of the mix?
Yeah, whenever I think Barryon Brown's going to probably add some weight here, and he's going to be a little bit more physical. He needs to add some weight, but man, he's a burner.
Yeah,
he's a burner. You know that. We've seen that, return game at LSU, and even when he was at Kentucky. When you put him on the edge and he's got like one-on-one coverage, I mean, that cornerback better hope he can keep up with him. I mean, he did it twice yesterday. In one he dropped, one he caught. In one-on-one drills, no one could like keep up with him in one-on-one drills. I mean, it's one-on-one drills. It's hard for a defensive back or a cornerback sometimes to keep up with fast receivers, but he's got the speed. Man, I know Kellen Moore wants to use him when more than just special teams. That's what he said. He's like, I know I can play him outside on the edge. So that tells you something. He's going to be one of their deep threats this year.
We shall certainly see. It'd be cool to see a former LSU Tiger making plays in the black and gold on Sunday. Sharif, we appreciate the time. Y'all stay cool out there, and we'll be checking in next week.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother you next week. I think I'll probably just keep it at 2:30, and then that morning I'll probably tell you I need to move it to like 1 o'clock.
I'm flexible, Sharif. I'm here to help you.
I'm here for you, buddy. See you next Tuesday.
Sharif Ishak, WSU, down in New Orleans. I remember watching Barryon Brown in practice last spring and last fall in camp and thinking, his highlight tape is a lot of like go balls and screens, but he's a more complete receiver than that. And he's just been so underutilized in an anemic Kentucky passing attack. He'll be a lot better with a quarterback that can throw for 4,000 yards like Garrett Nussmeier did last year. And of course, we know that Nussmeier got hurt and the passing game never materialized. And honestly, Barryon Brown played 4 years of college football without playing in a real passing offense. So if he can actually get into an offense that's functional in New Orleans, maybe there's another gear he can unlock, and that there's no doubt he can really run. I mean, you can see him turn it open on those kickoffs that he ran back at Kentucky and at LSU, and when he gets going, he's moving. And hopefully the Saints have got something there in Barryon Brown, who they took out of LSU. Speaking of LSU, let's switch lanes over to LSU. Tigers start camp tomorrow. Glenn West will be there. We're talking to him about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. They're online at GoTrosOnline.com, but just go check them out. Go check them out on Airline. Go check them out in Gonzales. In August, they've got a summer clearance sale going. It's incredible. They've got up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turns. 0% financing is available as well. Again, up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turn mowers. So if you need a new mower, it's the middle of summer. That grass is growing. Get on by and see them. Looking for a Skag, looking for a Hustler, looking for a Gravely, you know where to go. GoTro's Outdoor Power. You can find them online at GoTrosOnline.com, or you can find them right there on Airline or in Gonzales. It's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. It's Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. You can find them online at immense.net. That's immense.net. Let's talk some Tigers. Glenn West, the senior writer over at the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 team. LSU on the practice field tomorrow. Glenn joins us on the Tim's Firearms Hotline. Glenn, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing great, Hunt. Just ready to get back to some football here, ready to talk to the head man, and hopefully we can get some team questions into him, some more team-centric questions, I should say, into him than what we maybe got a few weeks ago at Media Days.
I'm not sure you're going to get a 17-minute filibuster at that first press conference this time around. There's not as many people from the Mississippi media here, not as many people from the national media here. I think you'll be ready to roll with team questions when Lane Kiffin does meet with the media, I believe, tomorrow after practice. Where are you headed when you walk in the gate tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I'll be the boring one and probably go with everybody else and go see what Sam Levitt's up to for a few minutes. I think that's going to be a very popular area of the field, just for people that might not know or might not see, all the media videos and stuff. They usually have the quarterbacks during individual drills on the opposite field, and we're able to kind of maneuver our way over there to the opposite field and get a chance to look at the quarterbacks, usually handing off to the running backs and then maybe doing some 1-on-0 passing to the wide receivers. So that'll be fun. But I think, what's going to be interesting is maybe the rotation in the trenches, just kind of what that might look like on the offensive and defensive line. I still think that there's some spots on both sides of the line of scrimmage that are going to be up for grabs over the next several weeks. And so I think it'll be very interesting to see kind of, can Bo Bordelon and Weston Davis hold on to their spots on the O-line? Who steps up opposite Prince Uman Mielen on the edge? And then on the interior D-line, there's probably a group of 5 players that you could pencil in to those 2 spots and not be wrong. So how that shakes out over the next several weeks, I'm going to be very curious about as well.
How do you feel about the interior of the defensive line?
I think I don't want to go to concerning, but it's one of the questions that I think you should have going into fall camp because there's a few players in there that have some experience. Stephylon Green and Malik Blockton were brought from major Power 4 programs and have some level of experience of playing. But I think LSU is going to have some expectations here that guys like Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson are ready to play right away and ready to to compete for some meaningful snaps. And so I think that when you're talking about 2 true freshmen, that kind of raises some eyebrows there, but they're also 2 very talented players. And so I think there's some risks involved there, but also some real benefits if they hit as true freshmen. So I'll be curious to see what they look like. And then Dominic McKinley too is a returning player that has all the former cachet of a 5-star player. Can he take that next step in his development and be a piece that LSU can work in there more consistently in year 3? But these are all players that are fine players, but to some extent all kind of unproven here, I guess, going into 2026.
Glenn West is our guest, senior writer over there at the Bengal Tiger, part of the team on 3. He's covering LSU football, basketball, baseball. Is with us on Tuesdays. Continue kind of talking about this LSU team on the eve of camp. They report today on the practice field just after 10 o'clock tomorrow. At a wide receiver, what's your take on the amount of depth and who kind of rises to the top out there?
Yeah, there's a lot of names to sift through, of course. I think, when you're talking wide receiver, I think the number 1 pass catcher on this team is probably going to be Trey'Dez Green. I feel pretty comfortable about that. I think they're going to get him involved in a myriad of different ways. But who steps up next to him, I think, is going to be a real big question mark. And I think that if you go by what we saw in the spring, Winston Watkins and Jackson Harris are 2 players that really come to mind right off the bat. I think those 2 showed real consistency throughout from the beginning of spring to the end of spring. Have they carried that momentum forward here over the summer and into fall will be very interesting to watch play out. I think outside of maybe those 2, Jace Brown is going to be a guy from Kansas State that's talked about a lot. I thought he had some moments in the spring where he looked really good, and then maybe some moments where he disappeared a little bit. But I think that is normal when you're getting accustomed to a new system and you're working so many new guys in there. So Jace Brown is going to be one to watch. I think Eugene Wilson, the transfer from Florida, is very interesting as well. A great athlete. He's been a little bit banged up the last couple of years, his career, but has immense potential in this offense. And so I think you start maybe with those 4 or 5. Malik Elzy is another player. Philip Wright, some of these guys that had some flashing moments, I think, back in the spring that could also work in there.
I got a question on our mailbag today, and I want to pose it to you because you were right there with me at fall camp last year. And the same kind of could apply to baseball this past year. But I was asked, how did y'all get it so wrong last year looking at that team and suggesting what they were going to be and then what they ended up being? And we all are well aware that Garrett Nussmeier got hurt and was never healthy the entire year. But what did you, taking inventory of what you saw last year and what you predicted that team to be and then what they ended up being, does that change the way you're going to watch fall camps moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think last year was a little bit unique because I do think that while, yes, I think there was a consensus that this team would still be pretty good, I do think that in fall camp we did raise some alarm flags about the offensive line.
Yeah.
I do think that was pretty consistent throughout, the media corps and just people that got to see that group and see that offense. And so, but at the same time, you're questioning okay, is that the offensive line or is it just going to be this defensive line is really, really good for LSU? And so you can never really know until you start playing games games and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just not something that translated well into games for LSU offensively in particular. They just were not very, they were very predictable offensively, and so I think that there was a lot that you could sift through and certainly get wrong, and so in that same vein, though, I don't get the sense that this Lane Kiffin offense is going to be the same. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of consistency there in terms of the explosiveness. I think we'll see that over the course of fall camp. I think you'll see plays being made. I think you'll see scrambles from the quarterback. I think you'll see all the different things that make the Lane Kiffin system really, really work. Come into effect here in fall camp, and so I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Tigers are ranked 13th in the coaches poll. How do you feel about that?
I think it's fair. I think it's right about where you'd expect them to be. I think it also says great work, Lane Kiffin and the front office staff for turning a 7-6 roster into a team that's the very next offseason or very next preseason ranked number 13th in the country. I mean, they had a ton of work to do this past offseason, and they added nearly 60 new players, and so you hope that with all that talent coming in that there would be some kind of reflection there in the polls, and I think that certainly shows in the coaches poll. It'll probably show in the AP poll whenever that gets released. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and prove it on the field. I think LSU was 10 or 11 or 12 last year in all these polls going into the year too. So you just can never take it with too much salt there. So I think it's good. I think it shows that the roster that they have is talented, but can this collection of talent become a team over the next 4 or 5 months is going to be ultimately what decides where they finish in November and December.
Logan Schmidt headed to Jay Johnson's program here in the fall. That? He'll be on the roster for the spring. What does that mean for LSU?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think more than anything, it just solidifies your future on the mound. Like, I think not only just for 2027, but when you look ahead in 2028 and 2029, this class, I feel like can be one of those defining classes when you go back 3 years from now and look back, and if LSU's had a tremendous amount of success, I think you'll go back to this month where LSU came in and got a whole bunch of guys that I don't think many expected to reach campus, and that includes now Logan Schmidt. I think in 2027 he's a guy that I could see filling a myriad of different roles. I could see him competing with those starters and pushing those starters to the brink. And I don't know if he'll be a weekend starter. I think that's probably a lot to put on a guy that you still haven't gotten into your system and worked with and developed yet. But he's going to be a huge piece of this team next year. I really believe that. I think you could see him start midweeks. I think you could see him kind of maybe in that role that we saw Kason Evans in as a freshman, that he was so electric in, pitching meaningful innings, going deep into innings, into games from a bullpen perspective, and maybe be a closer for him. So the sky's the limit for him. He's got immense potential in the long term, but I also think he'll be a valuable piece for this team in the short term as well.
Thanks, Glenn. We'll see you out there tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Hunt.
He's Glenn West, senior writer over there at the Bengal Tiger, part of the team over there on 3. Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. It is back to school time. If you feel like you need a new wagon to get the kiddos to and from school in the mornings, go check them out over at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They got great deals on Chevy Suburbans, Chevy Tahoes. GMC has, of course, the Denali. They've also got GMC Sierras if you're looking for a truck. Chevy Silverados if you're looking for a truck. Fantastic deals and great service right there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. The Fabry family has been at this for 35 years in the Baton Rouge area. They know how to take care of the people in the capital city, and it's a short drive from right here on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Start your process online. Check out the entire inventory there at FabryChevrolet.com. You can search by new, pre-owned vehicles. You can search by price, mileage, make, model, all that at the tip of your fingers at FabryChevrolet.com. And then go see him, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. maybe it's a segment for a different day because we're bumping up on the end of the hour about what we saw last year in camp versus what actually happened on the field. And Glenn did bring up a good point that we were concerned about the offensive line, and that ended up being a disaster, and then the quarterback was hurt, and it all kind of spiraled from that. And that it probably has a lot to do with it, and maybe we thought the defense was going to be a little bit better than it was, but then we looked pretty smart when they went to Clemson and played the way that they did against what we found out was a bad Clemson offense. So there's a lot of variables out there. It's really hard to peg a team by watching them practice themselves. So it's just we all kind of missed to a certain extent, and so we'll try to get it right this time around when we go see them tomorrow at 10:05, and we'll have a practice report up at LouisianaSports.net, and we'll certainly talk about it on the show tomorrow. Matt Moscona's got a new piece up at LouisianaSports.net. He's spoken with multiple people that were in the room last night when Dr. Wade Roos presented this potentially transformational way to approach the finances in collegiate athletics. There have been people that are really petrified about this because of two words, and I'll talk about that at the end of this hour. We'll do it next on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If there is a crack in your shower, a crack in your tub, don't just wave it off. Don't just wave it off. That can be the worst thing to do, because if you've got a crack in your tub or a crack in your shower, and you're running water consistently, and water gets beyond that, and it gets to a place where you can't see it, then what? Well, you might have a situation where that water gets into the walls, gets into the ceiling, into the floors, could create rot, could create mold, and you could have a serious repair on your hands. So if you see an imperfection, you see a crack in your shower, you see a crack in your tub, call David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. Let him come in and check it out, because that's someone who's been dealing with this kind of stuff for 30 years. He'll do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. If you need a brand new bathroom, he can help you with that. If you just need a quick fix there, they can help you with that as well. You can transform your bathroom, but it's not just that. It's making sure that there's not significant damage that goes on beyond your bathroom as well. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online at onebathandclosets.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online, or text or call for free, confidential help now.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Y'all, cyber attacks can be silent and they can be significant. If you run a business and somebody hacks into your system, what kind of information could they gather? Just your employees' information, tons of client information, and what if you're not able to detect them being in there and then they're there for 6 months until you figure something's wrong? All of a sudden, you've got something very expensive and significant on your hands there. If you work with Immense Networks Cloud IT Management, they're monitoring your systems 24/7 to proactively make sure that doesn't happen. It's not something that a lot of business owners think about all the time until you have to, until you've got an issue. And you've got employees potentially clicking emails they're not supposed to click, phishing operations happening all the time. Let Immense come in and handle that on the front end for you. It's not just that they can help your business grow using information technology. It's not just that they can be a resource for you for break and fix, which you kind of think about in terms of IT all the time. They can also be a resource for you in terms of protecting your systems from harmful attacks. They're right here in Baton Rouge. If you're a 50 to 100 person company, that's right in their sweet spot. Contact Immense Network Cloud IT Management. They're online at immense.net. Matt Moscona's got a piece up right now at louisianasports.net. He has spoken to people on the condition of anonymity that were in the room last night in the governor's mansion when Dr. Wade Roos spoke to very influential donors at LSU about a new plan that could be transformative in terms of revenue generation in collegiate athletics. I'm not here to tell you what he said. I'm not here to lay out the plan or give my opinion on the plan. Here's where I'm going to go with the limited information that I have. And Matt's got some information in the piece if you want to go read that and you're curious about what was said. People are freaked out by the term private equity. And I understand that. Like, it is not hard for me to connect these dots. Like, this is a reasonable thing to connect these dots. Okay. LSU needs a lot of money to pay these coaches, these buyouts, these players, these facilities. LSU needs a lot of money. They've spent a lot of money. They need to get more. Okay, well, who has money? Private equity. Well, they come in and they chip away and eventually gain control of the organization. And they're in it to make money. So they drive up ticket costs and price people out. They drive up parking costs and price people out. They corporatize things and they make the lower bowl of Tiger Stadium sold to a bunch of AT&T and IBM people, and Coca-Cola comes I get where you can connect that and you can rip the soul out of things because private equity only cares about making money. Like, I fully understand the way people can connect those dots. Here's where I'm coming from. And this might be naive. I admit that. It might be naive. But here's where I'm coming from. The people in that room give hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to LSU. Okay? I don't believe the people in that room, who, it stands to reason, care a lot about LSU, want to see or will allow on their watch to see LSU have its soul completely ripped out for cash by a venture capital group. I don't believe that to be a reasonable thing to fear. I didn't say impossible. I just don't believe it. I don't think the people in this state, alums who support this place and it's part of their life, are going to just sell out for cash in this new era and have this thing look like the Super Bowl every Saturday night in Death Valley instead of 95,000 people from the state of Louisiana who bleed purple and gold. Again, I understand where you're coming from. I'm just not going to panic over this. Now, Matt's story that is up says that LSU is not at all interested in a traditional private equity deal. That's not the way this thing's going to go, where they just cut you the check for the $300 million and they own X percent and they start calling the shots. Like, that's not what LSU is attempting to do here. I'm not an econ guy. I'm not a finance guy. I'm not the money guy. So I'm going to allow this to breathe a little bit and gain a little bit more information. J.R. Ball wrote a piece over at Red Eye. Matt's got a shorter piece up at LouisianaSports.net. I invite you to go read all of that and draw your own conclusions. I'm just not going to panic over 2 words, private equity, right this very second. I realize there are a lot of people that are. And I realize there are a lot of people that listen to me say this and say, you don't get it. You've never been involved in private equity like this. You're right. But I don't think you're going to get a university president who claims to love the university and a booster group that I'm confident loves that university and what LSU athletics means to the university and to this state. I don't think people that have been that successful in business, that give that much money to LSU, that care that much about the purple and gold, are going to sit there and go, yeah, how do we get the most money possible? Go to private equity and get them to buy in for 9 figures. It'll be fine. I just don't believe that's going to happen. Again, please call me naive, say I don't understand, and I can't fight you on that. But it's not going to change my belief system. I don't think that the people of Louisiana and the boosters of that school are going to sell their soul. That's a stretch for me. That's it for hour number 1 here. We'll pause for Sports International headlines. Lots of football in hour number 2. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
As families get ready for back to school, Ochsner Health is reminding parents that success in the classroom starts with overall wellness. Check in on your kids, their mental health, not just their grades. Pay attention to their changes in mood, their behavior. Create some time to connect with them and encourage open conversations about how they're feeling. Look, many Ochsner Health Centers offer both primary care and pediatric services in one location, and that makes it easy for families to coordinate care for everyone in the household. Same-day appointments are available at a lot of the locations, and that can help families address some unexpected health concerns quickly as kids return to school and all the activities that come with that. They've got extended afternoon hours after school, as well as weekend appointment options and select locations. They can provide some flexibility for you for busy families that are balancing school, work, and extracurricular activities. If you want some more tips in helping your family start the school year healthy, safe, and ready to succeed, I invite you to visit ochsner.org/BR. That's ochsner.org/BR.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish contractors, let's get building.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A pair of big NFL paydays on this Tuesday. Bijan Robinson, now the highest paid running back in league history. He and the Falcons agreed on a 3-year extension worth up to $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It's a case where you have a breakthrough on the running back front. And because of that, that now, I think, will provide the framework for a Jahmyr Gibbs deal. And with Bijan getting done, I would expect that Jahmyr Gibbs now also would get done.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. Detroit's Gibbs, who has yet to practice at training camp, continues to work on a long-term deal with the Lions. Ravens star receiver Zay Flowers agreed to a 4-year, $140 million extension, $108 million guaranteed. He's now the 4th highest paid receiver in the league. Panthers receiver Xavier Legette suffered a stinger on a hard fall during today's practice. He doesn't have a concussion. He will not play in Thursday's preseason opener. Baseball, lefty Tarek Skubal makes his Dodger debut tonight against the Cubs, a couple of days after his blockbuster trade from Detroit.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up on Wednesday, one of the biggest sins in sports was committed. It's not exactly what you think. I'll tell you why this trend needs to end. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Hope to see you out tonight at Court to Table. We'll be there for sports trivia, 8 o'clock on Burbank. Always a great time. We'll be hanging out. You can win gift cards. You can eat their great food. They have really, really good food at Court to Table. They got great drinks as well. It's always fun. So if you're by yourself and want to come out at 8 o'clock, you can come. If you've got a team, come on and do that. We'll have you out of there by 9:15, 9:20, so not a late affair there at Court to the Table. Every single Tuesday, we are there for sports trivia. We'll kick off hour number 2 with a piece on The Athletic that I find to be very, very fascinating, because this is not something that just was written by a staff writer or a beat writer or an insider at The Athletic. This is a poll that includes 50 executives and coaches in the National Football League, and they rank the quarterbacks. And so they send out these starters, and they get the information back from 50 executives and coaches in the league, and they rank the quarterbacks. And it's an objective ranking. Now, it's subjective in the sense that it's the opinion of those, but they put numbers to it. And they've got 4 tiers. Tier 1 means that you carry the team every week. The team wins because of you. You expertly handle pure passing situations, no real holes in your game. That is tier 1. Tier 2 carries the team sometimes, handles pure passing situations in doses, has other dimensions that elevate him above tier 3, and maybe has a hole or 2 in his game. That's tier 2. Tier 3 is a legit starter, but needs a running game or a defense to help if you're going to win games. Lower volume drop back passing suits these players the best in tier 3. And then you've got tier 4, which is an unproven player, meaning not enough information, or a veteran who ideally would not be a full season starter. These are your tiers of quarterbacks. And so when you look at tier 1, this is the elite of the elite. Patrick Mahomes still number 1 on this list. Right behind him, well, it's a tie, but they put number 2 on him, Josh Allen. Those two garnered a ton of the votes. Matthew Stafford is right there as well. And then you've got Joe Burrow in that 4 spot in the elite tier. That's it. That's your top tier. Burrow, Stafford, Allen, Mahomes. These are the creme de la creme, okay? You go into tier 2, and this is based on these rankings where you can still achieve as a team with the tier 2 quarterback. Now, you might say, how is Lamar Jackson not in tier 1? I might argue on your side of that. I think he probably should be tier number 1, but he is in tier number 2 at 5th overall. Justin Herbert is in there. Dak Prescott is in there. Drake May is in there. Jared Goff is in there. Jordan Love is in there. Brock Purdy is in there. Caleb Williams is in there. He moved in last year. Jaden Daniels moved in there. Baker Mayfield is in there. Sam Darnold is in there. You have gone through half the league now as Trevor Lawrence is in there with Jalen Hurts as well. That's tier 2. Half the NFL is in tiers 1 and 2. And I think you would argue if you have a good team, not in just an all-world roster, but a really good team, I think all those guys can elevate you toward a Super Bowl. You want to push back on Trevor Lawrence? Okay, he was an MVP finalist last year. You want to push back on Caleb Williams? The Bears were a 10-win football team last year. You want to push back on Brock Purdy? Well, they were making it deep in the playoffs before he got hurt. Maybe you can push back on Dak Prescott. His numbers are really good. I don't have a huge problem with any of the guys in this list. The question is now that we've gone through the top 2 tiers, and I don't think anybody, even Saints fans, would not expect that NFL executives and coaches would immediately toss Tyler Shuck into a group that includes some of those guys, Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's that tier. And I don't think anybody's under the illusions that Tyler Shuck is in that group, right? But is he in tier 3, legit starter, needs a running game or a defense to win, lower volume drop back passing, or need more information? I was curious about this once I read what the tiers are. And it turns out that in tier 3, with Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, and Kyler Murray with Jackson Dart, is Tyler Shuck. Now, he's ranked 26th here, so it's not like they're throwing flowers all over the place. But Shuck is considered a guy who you can win with. They don't need more information, is what they're telling you, because in tier 4, you need more information. Tier 4's got Malik Willis in it. And he may be the only one that's incomplete. Yeah, and Michael Penix. Michael Penix, and they threw Jacoby Brissett in there too, but Jacoby Brissett is in there with Deshaun Watson and Geno Smith as guys that you would prefer not be your starter. But I thought that was good that Tyler Shuck was involved in a tier that people believe you can win with. The panelists voted 4 votes for tier 2, which means can win you some games, which I would argue it's reasonable to suggest, not against Seattle, not against the Rams, not against the Bills, not against the elite of the NFL, but against some of the lesser teams in the NFL. I would argue Tyler Shuck kind of elevated you to wins last year in some instances. Yeah, it's against a team in Atlanta that didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, you beat the Giants, but he did do some things late in games last year that lifted a Saints team with no receivers left, banged up running backs, a terrible offensive line. He did some things to elevate that team to win. So 4 votes had him in tier 2, 21 had him in tier 3, and there were 25, so half of the votes had him in tier 4, and certainly that was meaning we need more information. That's the Michael Penix crew. That's the Malik Willis crew. But the point being, there's some respect for Shuck around the league. That's one thing. The second thing is, for the Saints to get this thing moving in the direction it needs to be moving, he's got to be in tier 2 next year. You need to convince the league that you're a quarterback you can win with. You don't have to barge into the discussion with Burrow and Allen and Mahomes and Stafford. That's not a realistic expectation for Tyler Shuck in his first full year as a starter. I don't need that. What I need is to get to tier 2. I need more than half of these executives to look at Tyler Shuck and go, that's a guy you can win anything you want to win with. Because, like, Jalen Hurts isn't in tier 1, and that's a guy that won a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold's not in tier 1. That's a guy that won a Super Bowl. There are guys in tier 2 that you can get all the way with. Lamar Jackson's in there. It would be hard to argue you couldn't get there with him, even though he hasn't been awesome in the playoffs. Jared Goff has been awesome, played in a Super Bowl. He's in tier 2. That's where Tyler Shuck needs to be. That's where he needs to be. And I think it's reasonable to suggest he can. And once you get him to that spot, the group around him needs to elevate, and that's how you get a team that can compete. Seattle just did it. Now we'll see if they can do it again with a monster cap hit on Sam Darnold. Instead of $13 million he was making last year, it's up over $32 million this year. It's hard, but you get a window, you can do it. That's what Tyler Shuck's got to do. He's got to climb into tier 2 and play at a level commiserate with Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. It's not an astronomical level. I don't think anybody's here to tell you that Caleb Williams was knocking on the MVP door last year, but they won the division. So that's what you're looking for. And this is not, some beat writers talking. These are executives and coaches in the league. That's part of this deal. The rookie draft class from this year, the second-year players that they drafted, and Tyler Shuck, part of that second-year class, need to elevate this year. If they do that, then you can really feel like this time next year you've got a shot to make a move. Maybe you do this year, but that might be unrealistic. But there are a lot of people with some confidence that Tyler Shuck is that dude in these. So you can check that out at The Athletic. Cool ranking there for those players, and I think a little bit of respect for Tyler Shuck. You feeling like Shuck gets some respect in the league?
I think not yet. I do think he's got a good PR around him right now, so a lot of people are, I'm starting to see a lot of people on the Saints bandwagon right now. You're starting to see a lot of people say, oh, the Saints are the breakout team for next year. So we're getting a lot of love, but he's got to go out there and prove it. I was looking at the list, and the main thing I saw where, they talked about prove was Jaden Daniels. Like, you got to go out there and prove it. Like, he's got to go out there and reprove it. So that's kind of how I feel about Tyler Shuck. We got that small little sample size. You got a little appetizer, but now it's time for the main course. Can we actually get the main dish of Tyler Shuck this year? So if he can go out there and do that and bump up into this tier, because you're looking at it, a lot of these guys, he can be in these conversations. Like, these aren't like some astronomical figures that Tyler Shuck has to live up to. Like, you can't tell me Tyler Shuck can't be Brock Purdy.
Here are the guys that moved up from tier 3 to tier 2. This exact thing we're talking about, these are the guys that did it last year. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
There's no reason to suggest Tyler Shuck can't do what Drake May, Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, and Trevor Lawrence did.
And maybe even better. Even better. So it does take a team. It's not just a one-man army. It's going to take everybody else. We're going to need a lot of help on our side. Hopefully our O-line can stay together. Hopefully receivers can stay intact. But if we have a little bit of help on our side, there's no way Shuck doesn't make that jump into that tier.
Gotta hope. We shall see. Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. When we come back, I teased this in the first hour. I want to talk about why me and some of the other media members got things wrong last year when watching this team in fall camp, because I got that question in the mailbag. We'll also get into 3 freshmen that I'm going to watch coming up tomorrow when we get out there. So we'll get into all that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. If you don't have a Generac home standby generator, then you don't have the peace of mind of knowing that you're protected from power outages. And we know afternoon storms come through here that knock it out for 3 hours, and we know that hurricanes are always, generally speaking, around the corner. Been a quiet early hurricane season this year. I like that. I hope it stays that way. But we know that there's always that risk. So get a Generac home standby generator installed before the storm comes through from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562 or 225-300-9389. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They monitor your generator 24/7 and have a local team ready to come out and service that mechanical issue if one arises, so that your Generac home standby generator is ready to go. Check them out online, boudreauxelectrical.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remind you about First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com, FABT.com. That's First American Bank and Trust. Look, they've been at this 116 years, y'all. They started up in 1910, and they've grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. If you are looking for a bank, looking for one that has a community feel, but the resources to do the things that you need from a commercial lending or a personal lending perspective, First American Bank and Trust is the option. It's the option. That's why they've been here for 116 years in Southeast Louisiana. Don't think small, but think community. When you call First American Bank and Trust, you get a local answer. When you apply for a loan with First American Bank and Trust, the decision is made locally, not nationally, not in San Francisco or Atlanta. It's made right here in Southeast Louisiana by First American Bank and Trust. If you're in St. Tammany or Tangipahoa Parish, and maybe down the bayou in St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne, or maybe you're in Dutchtown, Jones Creek, or maybe you're over in Metairie. First American Bank and Trust, there's a branch near you. Check them out online at FABT.com. If you have been reading over the last 24 hours and seen the words private equity tossed around with LSU, I highly, highly, highly recommend you go to LouisianaSports.net right now. Matt Moscona has spoken with multiple people who were involved in Dr. Wade Roos's meeting at the Governor Mansion last night, and he's got a story up at LouisianaSports.net that spells out some details of what was going on. Not everything, but there is a story up right now that has some details, including refuting the report that it's just a traditional private equity model. So go check that out. Matt's done a great job, and I'm confident that you'll hear a lot about that on After Further Review today. I did not speak with the people that were there at the meeting last night. Matt did, so I wrote the story, and he'll talk about it, so I can't go any further into that. But I just wanted to mention that when there's a new audience kind of shifting in. I talked about it in hour number 1 and about 20 minutes ago. I wanted to go ahead and refresh that for those that have just hopped in the car and may want to check that out. But to transition back to LSU football, I got asked a question in the mailbag today at LouisianaSports.net. Like, why did you and so many media guys hype up the team last fall only to watch them lose 6 games and fire the coach? I thought that's a reasonable question. I'm never afraid to be wrong up here. That's just part of the gig when you do 20 hours and you write 20 stories a week. Like, it is what it is. You're going to be wrong. And I don't have any pride. I don't have any ego. I don't mind when people call me out on being wrong. It's just like, it's just part of the gig. I'll give my next prediction. And I hope that one's right if it's positive. But I gave a lot of thought to last year in the fall, and I gave a lot of thought to last fall with baseball and preseason with baseball, because I didn't tell you they were going 9-21 in baseball, and I certainly didn't tell you they were going to be bad last year on offense at LSU. What I've taken from my years of watching fall camp is if you see one side of the ball controlling the practices that you're going to, that appears to be a problem. The 2023 offense just schooled the defense the entire fall camp we were out there. Jaden, Malik, Brian Thomas Jr., they just cooked that defense. And it turns out that was a historic offense, a terrible defense, wasn't a good enough team. Last year, they could not run the ball. Couldn't run the ball. They hit some busted plays, but they couldn't run the ball, and they couldn't really block. Bernard Gooden was in the backfield every play. They could not block Bernard Gooden. And that wasn't because he was an All-American player. It wasn't because he was a first-round pick. It was because their offensive line was bad. And Nussmeier was rushed a lot, and the pocket collapsed a lot, and we just, as a group, as you often do this time of year, said, well, maybe the defensive line is just really good. Because it's optimism season. It's time to be optimistic. I'm telling you, I heard from probably multiple head coaches in Tampa 2 weeks ago that will go 1-8 in this league that were telling me how good they feel about their football team. Because somebody's going 1-8, and nobody got up there and said, "Yeah, we're not very good. So just bet the under on us this year." It's optimism time. August breeds optimism. NFL, college football, optimism. Everybody thinks they've got a shot to be better than the outside world thinks they're going to be, and that seeps in. There's an element of this that we don't want to go to practice and then come out here and report on it and go, guys, this team stinks. We don't want to do that. And I don't think anybody thought that last year, but the signs were there that they weren't blocking well enough. And they were awful on the offensive line. So what I have taken from this is that you need to see punches and counter punches daily out there. If one side is overwhelming, it's probably not because you've got a generational side of the football. It's probably because one of the other side of the football is not holding up its end of the bargain. Because it's a lot easier to field a substandard unit than it is to field a generational unit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I've taken from it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I've thought about it. I do take a little bit of pride in feeling like I need to be able to watch what I'm seeing and relay it to y'all reasonably. It's going to be through purple and gold colored glasses to an extent, not ridiculously, to an extent, but it needs to be reasonably correct. We're all going to miss from time to time. But I take that seriously. Like, I understand that when I come on here the Monday after they play a game, we've all watched the same thing. And you all kind of have the same kind of take. I understand that in August, we're your eyes, we're your ears. We're supposed to be the ones out there giving you a reasonable take. You're not asking for us to be NFL general managers. You're not asking us to be, the Senior Bowl CEO or a head scout for the Raiders. You're asking us to go out there and give a reasonable opinion on what you've seen. And it's not great when you go out there and say, yeah, this is an 11-1 football team, which I said 10-2, and they go out there and fall flat and get their butts kicked by Vanderbilt, and you fire your coach and lose 6 games. So I've shifted the way I'll watch things a little bit. I've got more perspective. Annually, you just get a little bit more. I'm not telling you I'm going to get this thing completely right, but I am telling you that I appreciate the question, and I understand there's a little bit of accountability that goes into it to an extent. If I knew what their record was going to be, I'd just go to Vegas and bet huge and quit. Like, I'm never going to know. But it's been eye-opening to predict one thing and to have them come up as short as they have. So just a thought on preseason practice. Now, I went over, and I'll do this fairly quickly, 3 freshmen that I'll be looking for tomorrow when we get out there for 3 different reasons. First is Deuce Gerald. I talked about him a ton. And I believe that Deuce Gerald is going to start against Clemson. He would have to pass up most of, outside of one player, Dominic McKinley, Malik Blockton, and Stephylan Green, as well as like Sean Washington and Richard Anderson and some. But he would have to beat all those guys out but one, who he starts next to. And because of the first team reps he got in the spring, I think he's got a real chance to be the starting defensive tackle. Now, he is undersized for that. You're talking about a guy that's around 270 pounds. Playing in the in defensive line interior, that's small by SEC standards. But he's elusive, he's quick, he knows how to play, he comes from a football family, and he was really disruptive in the spring when we got to watch him. I think he is going to be a great player at LSU, and I think I know he's going to play in the first half against Clemson. I'm so confident in that. I think he's going to start the game. We'll see. But that's one guy I'll be watching tomorrow and in camp. Number 2 is Lamar Brown. Now, probably not for the exact same reason that you think. Lamar Brown was the number 1 recruit in the country. And when you think about that, you toss him in there with Jadeveon Clowney. You toss him in there with Leonard Fournette. You toss him in there with Patrick Peterson. You toss him in there with Derek Stingley Jr. That's the company that he keeps in your head in Baton Rouge, and all those guys had monster freshman seasons. Stingley was the best cover corner on the best team we've ever seen. Fournette was an absolute monster after about 3 games. Patrick Peterson was ready to play physically when he got here. Like, you've seen these guys, and they happen a lot. I don't know that I'm putting Lamar Brown quite in that category because I feel like he's gotten that number 1 ranking based on his physical attributes, meaning size and athleticism, not necessarily his ability to play technically sound football right now. Keep in mind, he's played on the offensive line, he's played on the defensive line, he's played interior defensive line, he's played on the edge, he's done a lot of different things. He hasn't specialized on one thing, and that's what he will do at LSU on the defensive edge. And you've got Jordan Ross, and you've got Prince William-Mielen, who are your projected starters, and you've got some guys who are 3 years older than Lamar Brown that are in this program that I think are going to be more advanced than he is today. And I don't think he's going to be a key factor against Clemson. I think he could grow into that because he's got such crazy athleticism. He already looks the part. He's 295 pounds. But I'm going to be watching to see where he lines up and where he is in the rotation. Because keep in mind, he didn't go through spring ball. Richard Anderson did. Deuce Gerald's did. And Lamar Brown didn't. He was still in high school. So tomorrow is his first practice at LSU. I'm just not sure in 4 weeks' time he's going to be ready to go up there and play meaningful snaps against Clemson. That's just my feeling on it. But I'm going to be watching. I think it's fascinating, and I want to see what he looks like out there, especially when they put the pads on first thing next week. I'm curious to see how that looks. And the last freshman I'm going to look at is probably not going to get a lot of headlines and may not play much at all this year, but he might. It's Haven Finney. Because Haven Finney comes into a thin position group at LSU. Cornerback, LSU is dangerously thin. Aiden Andy goes down. You look up. You've got, really good first 2 with DJ Pickett, PJ Woodland. Jakeem Jackson's probably next up. Then you've got like Michael Turner, who weighs 160 pounds, and Aiden Anding, who is very, very young as a reclassified freshman. I want to see if Haven Finney's put on a little bit of weight, because he was already 6'1", already 170 pounds. Can he get up to 175, 180? I don't know. But he's not going to be in the mix immediately. But if you do have an injury at corner, which happens, these guys are changing directions on a dime. They're running stride for stride with wide receivers. Feet get tangled up. Like, you guys get hurt. He may be next up. It might be Michael Turner, but it might be Haven Finney. This is a guy that Corey Raymond identified out of Southern California as the guy next to Pickett that he wanted to pick up in the following class. And he did. And he's got that length. He's got that range. He's got that pedigree. But he reclassified. He's young. But you may not have a lot of development time if you've got an injury at maybe the most thin position on your roster. So I want to see if Finney's put on a little bit of weight. I want to see where he's going through drills. I want to see what Corey Raymond says to him when he goes through drills, because that's a guy that I think could be a factor for this LSU team. But maybe if you stay healthy, you don't have to with Pickett and Woodland and Jackson, and then in the safety spots, Deshaun Spears, TaMarcus Cooley, Ty Benefield. That might be enough secondary bodies, but you never know. And I'll be watching Haven Finney. So those three guys, Deuce Gerald, who I think is a starter, Lamar Brown, who I don't think is a starter right now, but I think is interesting to see where he develops and where he plays. And then Haven Finney, what kind of depth can he add as a young player? I'm fascinated by that for sure. So let's look at LSU fall practice. We'll see the Tigers just after 10 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll certainly be talking about it on tomorrow's show. Take a time out. 30 minutes to go. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. SwingEasyGCBR.com. Get on by and make a day of it at Swing Easy Golf Club. You can bring some friends, go by yourself, crank up the tunes, drink a cold beer, comfortable seating, got a television, and oh, by the way, that golf simulator, which is a ton of fun. You can fire up tons of your favorite courses from around the world. The old course at St. Andrews, you can play Carnoustie over there. You can play Troon, all the U.S. Open, the British Open Roadie you can play. Cypress Point, Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, all there on that simulator, and it's so much fun. You can card a score. You hit your tee shots, you hit your second shots, you hit chips, putts. You can play against a friend, match play. You can play by yourself, take as many mulligans as you want. It's always a great, great time. Go by and just have some fun playing golf at Swing Easy. If you've never played simulator golf, go see it. They're on Segan at Perkins at Swing Easy Golf Club, online at swingeasygcbr.com.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts, extra reps.
And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Choose from a variety of classic sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Order online and download our loyalty app to start earning those crispy and juicy rewards. Loyalty matters.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The Highland Insurance Group is online at highlandig.com, highlandig.com. Jonathan Carbo and his team, they're first class over at the Highland Insurance Group. First class people. I've been in the insurance game, y'all know, for 7 years, and I met a lot of people in it, and the Highland Insurance Group does it the right way. They take care of their clients. They understand insurance, the risks here in Southeast Louisiana, and they take care of you. And they do that from a benefits perspective as well. It can be expensive. It can be cost prohibitive to offer the benefits that you know that your employees need. That health care for their families, that dental, vision. And if you feel like you're getting squeezed with your health care insurer, contact the Howard Insurance Group. Get a second opinion. They're the independent broker, means they've got contracts with different carriers, and they can give you a second option. If you had a bad renewal, you've got one coming up that you're fearing, contact Jonathan Carbo and the Howard Insurance Group and say, hey, I'd love to talk about benefits. We're just getting crushed here. And he'll have that conversation with you. He's done it with dozens of clients around South Louisiana, and he can do it for you as well. It's a Howard Insurance Group. They're online at highlandig.com. All right, let's go back to Saints. Some sound. Saints are off today, by the way, but also a lot of sound coming out of Saints camp, and love to get the perspective of a lot of guys. And I have talked about this player on multiple occasions throughout the back end of the summer because I just feel he's so vital to what the Saints are trying to do, and we've seen that. When he's gone out the last couple of years, it's Eric McCoy right there at the center position. And if the Saints are going to achieve this year, if their offensive line is going to do the things that we think it can do if healthy, then Eric McCoy is right in the middle of that and maybe the most important piece. And he's got to be healthier than he has been the last 2 years. What about his confidence, about his health? Like, if you miss big chunks of 2 seasons, it's physically taxing, but it's mentally taxing as well.
I don't think my confidence ever wavered. I trust my process, I trust my plan, and I think we've implemented a few extra things in the weight room to kind of supplement, but my confidence never wavered in who I am as a player, who I am as a person, and what I can do on the football field.
That sounds pretty convicted. It does. And so you wonder, what are you doing in the weight room that's trying to help you from getting these injuries that keep recurring over the course of the last couple of seasons?
More correctional work. So things that I've had, surgeries on in the past or injuries in the past, just doing even more supplemental work to strengthen, mobilize, activate, those types of things.
These are things that we talk to our friends over at Auction about all the time, of trying to be preventative at the same time, trying to gain strength and make sure you're staying as healthy as possible. It's just a risky position to play. You got to snap the ball. Then you got 2 giants on your right and 2 giants on your left and 4 giants ramming into y'all every single snap. And your ankles are exposed, your knees are exposed, your fingers are exposed. It's just dangerous. And it's hard to stay healthy at those spots. But the Saints need Eric McCoy badly to rectify their running game, to keep their young quarterback upright, to make sure protections are correct, to just anchor the offensive line that beyond him is still fairly young. The guards are not, but the tackles obviously are. Last sound here from McCoy is about non-related injuries and not being limited this time around in camp.
Have you had any injuries that were either a recurrence or related to a previous injury, or have they all been somewhat separate?
Every single one has been separate.
Yeah, and so none of those are things that should limit you.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I've got no fear. So
these are the right answers, and this is my thing. This may be so dumb, but it's just how I feel with zero orthopedic training, zero medical knowledge, zero qualifications for this take. But I just don't believe that if you break an ankle or dislocate a shoulder or tear a hamstring and then do the other one the next year, that somehow means you're prone to injury. Like, if you are Steph Curry's ankle, gotcha. Like, that's a guy who's going to miss time with an ankle injury every year. He's prone to that. He's susceptible to that. His body responds that way. Like, that is a guy who is, quote-unquote, injury prone. It's the same thing that always happens. If you were a pitcher that has had 2 different Tommy John surgeries, like, yeah, your elbow and your delivery are obviously taxing your body in a way that is not holding up properly. But I just don't buy the injury-prone label if it's not recurring or not something that happens in the same vicinity over and over again. Greg Oden's feet, problem. No doubt. Concussions, absolutely. You can be prone to that. Chris Olave, right there in that same mix. But Eric McCoy's injuries are not the same. It's bad luck. I don't think he's an injury-prone player. I think he's a player that's gotten hurt the last 2 seasons. And that gives me the confidence that there's a chance he can stay healthy this year. And he feels that way. It doesn't sound like he's backing off. Sometimes when you miss that much time, the toughest thing to do is to come back mentally and commit to doing things that you would do because you're constantly in fear of when's my next season-ending injury. Doesn't feel like he's in that club whatsoever. In fact, just the opposite. He's saying, give me the ball. Let me get in the middle of this offensive line. Let me make things happen. He is such a vital piece to what the Saints are going to try to do this year. If he is there in the middle of that offensive line and playing at a Pro Bowl level, if your 2 tackles grow up a little bit and you got what you think you did at left guard, all of a sudden your offensive line goes from punchline, liability, joke, disaster to one of the strengths of the team. It's a strong leap to make, but he can be that good. He can be that good. He's saying all the right things, doing all the right things. Let's just hope he stays upright, he stays healthy, and that my assertion in this instance is proven right that, hey, yeah, he got hurt the last 2 years. That doesn't mean this year that he's at a greater risk of getting injured. At least that's what I hope. That's Eric McCoy from New Orleans, their Pro Bowl caliber center. Chugging along here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. We will step aside, take a timeout, come back, close out the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Check out the website. So user-friendly. Depending on what you're looking for. Maybe it's an SUV for back to school. Maybe it's a truck because you've never had one and feel like you need that. Maybe your truck lease is up and you're looking for a new one. You can search the entire inventory at Fabry Chevrolet GMC online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FABRE.com, FabryChevrolet.com. And you can see their selection of Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierras on the truck side. Want new? Sort by new. Want pre-owned? Search by pre-owned. If you get to the pre-owned page and you want to search by price, mileage, plug them both in. You got sliding scales. You can do it right there. The entire inventory is right there. Start your process online and then go see them. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Understand why they've been in business for 35 years in the Fabry family, because they take care of their clients. It's important to them that they do that. So if you're looking for a new SUV, new sedan, new truck, new school year, Fabry Chevrolet, online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Immense Networks Cloud IT Management, bring you our Tuesday shows. Can be a great partner for you when it comes to information technology. Look, if your IT department is overworked, you've got one person running desk to desk trying to put out fires left and right, that's no way to operate. And Immense doesn't want to come in and replace that person. Immense wants to come in and help. And what they do is twofold. One, they can help your business grow with the use of IT. It's not just fixing broken computers. They can help you get things done in your line of work by using IT as a partner of yours. And second, security. Cyber attacks are real, and they are dangerous and scary. If you don't ever think about them, well, maybe one happens and you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden you haven't known someone's in the back end of your system for 4 months, and now you're compromised from your sensitive information in your servers to your employees' information to clients' information. It can be a problem. Immense monitors your system 24/7 proactively so that you can look up and feel protected. That's what Immense can do. And they're not going to lock you into long-term deals. Month to month with Immense, they will earn their relationship with you. They're based out of here in Baton Rouge, LSU guys. If you're a business of 50 to 100 people and you want some help from an IT perspective, go with Immense. They're online at immense.net. Immense Networks, Cloud IT Management, online at immense.net. All right, chugging along here on this Tuesday, I want to remind y'all that we will be at Court to Table tonight for sports trivia at 8 o'clock. Come on by at 8. We'll get things started, have you out of there by about 8:20. We'll have 5 rounds. You can win gift cards. You can win pickleball reservations. You can also eat their great food, great drinks. Got a ton of televisions on. Always a great time. And again, it's not an all hours of the night thing. 8 to about 9:15, and we got you out of there every single Tuesday. So come by and see us on Burbank at Court to Table. And then tomorrow, again, for those that are just catching up today, LSU starts fall camp tomorrow. Practice begins right about 10 o'clock. We will be permitted to watch the early portions of that practice. There will be a report up at louisianasports.net, and we will also have a full report in the first segment of tomorrow's show as well. So really excited to get out there and watch this team at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll be looking forward to that. If you are curious about the goings-on at the Governor's Mansion last night and tomorrow, Matt Moscona's got a story up at louisianasports.net about Dr. Wade Roos's presentation to some influential boosters with LSU. It's not just a straight private equity deal. That may have been reported. That's been refuted, and Matt's got the story up, so go check that out for free at the homepage at louisianasports.net. One more order of business. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Just take All right, so the most successful YouTuber in the world, Mr. Beast and Liquid Death. Yes, Liquid Death has teamed up with Mr. Beast Feastables to transform its creamy peanut butter cups into a soda-flavored sparkling water. The limited edition drink combines chocolate and peanut butter flavors, and what the brand describes as a chocolate peanut butter shake with bubbles. Despite the name, each 12-ounce can contains just 10 calories, 3 grams of sugar, and no actual nuts. So, peanut butter sparkling water, take it or leave it.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot, but the chocolate peanut butter combo is about as good a combo as we got going in the game.
It is.
Reese's has never made a bad product.
Never. I love Reese's.
So, and you go we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Go to a gas station and see how many Reese's products there are.
A million.
You got king size, you got Reese's Pieces, you got peanut butter cups, you got the minis, you
white
got
chocolate ones.
white chocolate
Yeah.
inside out. Like
Yeah.
they got fast break. They got a bajillion Reese's. They still make the puffs, the
Yeah, they
cereal.
do. Yeah.
So like they got, if you plug chocolate and peanut butter in, it usually works. I'd be willing to try it. I don't
Okay.
think it'd be a daily thing for me.
I'll take it.
But I'd be willing to give it a try.
Okay, a little bit of peanut butter sparkling water. All right, so the Baltimore Ravens signed two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Zay Flowers to a 4-year, $140 million extension. That includes $108 million guaranteed. So it's $108 million guaranteed. Just to add context to everybody, Chris Olave was $90 million guaranteed. So is Chris Olave contract already aging well? Take it or leave it.
I take it.
I'll
I
take
had no problem with the Olave contract. I didn't like the Kamara contract.
Yeah,
I didn't love the Juwan Johnson contract. Like there have been deals the Saints signed where I looked at it and went, not sure about that. The Olave one checks out for me. Like I realize that if you go just by the numbers and go, okay, he's 6th or 8th, depending on which metric you want to look like, around the 6th or 8th top receiver in the league. Is he that? I don't think so. But in terms of dollars and cents that you're allocating to your roster and the production that he gives you, and then what you're looking at other guys signing for, I think it was fine.
All right, so just to add a little bit more context to that, so Zay Flower now comes in at $35 million a year. That is just above Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. So just a bunch of guys you would be like, oh, what's going on here? So buckle up for this one, everybody. A steakhouse in Florida has now caused a stir online for hosting a special dining experience where guests aren't expected to wear any clothes. So on the first Monday of every month, the Class Soiree Steakhouse is hosting a new dining experience where all customers get undressed once they reach the venue and remain the same way for their meal. So the chefs and servers, they'll still be clothed. So it costs $250 for men, $150 for women, and $300 for couples. So eating steak nude, take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave it. This is bad. This is bad. First of all,
let me hear it.
Some of these steakhouses have the butter plates that are like a bajillion degrees.
Oh,
you're
sizzling.
going right to the mouth. What if we get a drip?
Ooh,
That's a
on the
problem. We got a
thighs?
problem. We got problems here. And second, there's not a lot that's going to be as unappetizing as just sitting around a bunch of nude
Naked
people. 'Cause,
people eating
let me just come up with this. I don't think everybody in that restaurant's going to be a 10. Okay?
Yeah, no,
you're
not
not
at
going to
all.
have
No.
a lot of 10s in
No.
there. So you're going to. This is not the environment that we need to be looking for food. No, that's not good. I love a steakhouse. Let's put some clothes on. And I would prefer, if we're just going to extrapolate out of this conversation.
Yes.
I'm offended by what some people wear in the steakhouse to begin with. Everybody needs to step it up a notch when we're going to eat a good dinner.
Yeah.
Look, the kiddos and I were at Waffle House on Sunday morning.
Okay.
You want to go in there looking like ragtag? I think that's
it's
great.
Waffle
It's
House.
fine. It's Waffle House.
Yeah.
If we're going to eat a steak and have a scotch and have
Gotta get
experience,
cleaned up.
Let's put some clothes on.
Yeah. Let's get cleaned
right.
up. So Hunt, tell me this. How, I'm trying to understand the the owner's perspective here? I guess he's trying to get a stir on social media. Like,
Yeah,
how
I mean,
are you going to
you're
get
catching some buzz?
You know, how do you get butts in
people
seats?
will go to this thinking that there's going to be a lot of hot people,
Yeah,
and they're
true.
not. They're just not. Because to quote Jerry Seinfeld, like he said that like 6% of the population is dateable. Like you're talking about 94%. You don't want any part up here.
Yeah.
Which it's a high number.
I'm just trying to understand. So once I seen this, I was like, hold on, we got to talk about
And
this.
I mean, you got. There's just so many ways you could go with
All right,
this.
but my last question would be: are you showing up already naked, or you got your clothes in the
I
car?
don't know. I
you
just
know,
feel
what's-
like you're going to be ordering your appetizers, and then you're sitting there with the wife, and
Get
then
a little cold?
then someone walks by, and you look at that.
Yeah,
Well, what are you
look.
looking at that for? It's like, well, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
What's the point? So this is bad. I won't be attending.
All right, so that's it for taking or leaving.
That's it for taking.
Little nude steak. For
That's a
everybody.
perfect end of the summer. It was a longer summer than we wanted.
Yes.
No baseball in June whatsoever. Bowed out in the SC tournament in May. But once that final play is made, whether it's winning the national championship in Omaha or unfortunately losing in Hoover and ending the season, you're just when's fall camp? Well, fall camp's now. We've done all we can do here in the summer months, and finally tomorrow at 10 o'clock we'll be able to go out there and watch LSU play some practice, a little bit of football. They won't have pads on, and we're not going to be out there for 2 hours, but we will have a report up at LouisianaSports.net, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow. So I am very excited that we have made it to the end of the line in the summer months. If you missed any of the show today, catch it on demand. Coach's poll is out. Talked about LSU spot and their schedule there. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Sharif has been at Saints camp for the last week. We talked to him at 1:15. Find that at Hunt on Saints. Glenn West was with us. My thoughts on private equity. Matt will have a lot more on that coming up later today. Tyler Shuck, Tier 3 in the quarterbacks. What does that mean? We talked about it with The Athletic. Catch our show on demand wherever you find your sound. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First, got to tell you about Marucci. Check them out online at MarucciSports.com. That's MarucciSports.com. But as football season is upon us, sometimes you got kiddos in the house that still want to work on that baseball swing. Well, you can do that if you become a member at Marucci's Hitter's House. Got a youth softball player, got a youth baseball player, get a membership. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can go and use those great facilities at Marucci. You can work on your pitching, work on your swings. It's a great, great resource here in Baton Rouge, especially for those that want to practice baseball year-round, even as their teams are not practicing. A lot of summer ball and travel ball may be ending, but that doesn't mean you can stop working on your baseball. You can do that over at Marucci. You can take a tour of the official bat of Major League Baseball, see where it is made, see where they make 1,200 every single day. What a gem for us here in Baton Rouge to have Marucci, where they supply the best players in the world with the official bat of Major League Baseball. Join the Hitter's House. Go take a tour. It's all there at Marucci.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of